Good afternoon everyone, good afternoon and welcome to another video. It's 3:30 in the afternoon here in London and it's getting dark already, so I'm trying to find the optimal position in the apartment to get the right light. Hopefully this turns out okay. Yeah, so just a short video today. I know I always say that, but just a short video. I mean, it's not easy to make these videos when I don't have my car here, I know that. So today I thought I'd talk about something a little bit different and, well, not different, it's the same topic that we always talk about. We talk about cars most of the time here on the channel. We talk about the 997, we talk about Porsches in general and what's happening in the Porsche world. Haven't been doing a lot of traveling lately, so not a lot of traveling videos. I've been stuck in London, which is not a bad thing, I guess, but am stuck in London at the moment working on a large job. The kid in us. What is it about the kid in us? You know, I was thinking about this the other day, and you know, like, I guess it's the collector in us. What is it about the kid in us? The kid in us, the thing that never grows old, the thing that we always hang on to throughout our life. That thing about, I still look at other cars. I mean, sorry Porsche, but I still look at other cars. Lately I've been a little bit distracted from looking at 997s and looking at 991s and GT3s. I've started looking at two cars actually, and this is not as a replacement to the 911. This is just something that I'm thinking ahead and thinking of cars that I would like to have. I don't know whether I can have a multiple car garage. One thing is that I'm never hardly in Australia, I'm mainly in London, so it makes it very difficult. Yes, I should get a car in London, it's not so easy. But anyway, I still think about what else I would buy. And you know, I guess this goes back to being, you know, the kid in us that we always hang on to, the collection. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I used to and I'm probably showing, you know, the generation I was brought up in, but I used to collect Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars. And you know, I wish I still had all those cars today, and I had a lot. I used to get a lot of them, and but unfortunately they all got either destroyed or lost in moving, or things that happen when when you're growing up, things that you feel like you should have kept and hung on to now, but at the time they don't seem so important. So what have I been looking at? Okay, I've been looking at two cars in particular. I've been looking at Mercedes-Benz, and I've been looking at, you guessed it, the AMG GT. And the AMG GT I've been looking at because, one, I really like the shape of it. I like the long bonnet, I like the stubby rear, I love the interior. V8 bi-turbo, I love the sound of it. I still think it sounds really good, and if you get it in the right spec, it's pretty special. And the reason why I'm looking at these is because the price of them has gone down quite a lot. I think the AMG GT just had a facelift in 2017 where all of them got the Pan America, is it called, grille, the big grille on the front, as per the GTR. The GTR being the more race-bred, like a GT3 version of the AMG GT. The AMG GT range is a little bit confusing, in fact. It starts with the AMG GT, the standard, which is like a Carrera. Then it has the AMG GTS, which is like a Carrera S. Then it has the AMG GTC. C does not mean convertible, cabriolet. It just means, I guess it means competition. I'm not sure what the C means, but anyway, the AMG GTC is like a GTS. I guess it's like a Carrera GTS. And then the GTR, the one that, you know, you would really like to get, which are coming down in price as well, which is like the GT3. I have been looking at them because, like I said, the AMG GTS, I think AMG GTS in Australia is about 300,000 Australian dollars plus on-road costs new. You can get an AMG GTS for around $220,000. $220,000 to $230,000. There are examples available, and those examples are only less than a year old because they have the Pan America grille. If you don't want the Pan America grille and you just want the standard, that grille, whatever you call it, a Mercedes-Benz, they're sitting at $180,000 to $205,000 for a GTS. Depending on the spec you want to get. Obviously the sports seats, the AMG sports seats are the ones, and the certain leather interior, whatever, you know, there are certain options which you would opt for, the wheels, the black wheels. I mean, some things are harder to find, but you can pick up one for about 180,000 Australian dollars, which is about the same price that a Carrera S, a little bit more maybe, around about the price of a Carrera S is selling, a 991.1 Carrera S used. So it's comparative to that. But the thing is, we all love the 911. I love my Porsche. I'm always going to have a Porsche. But I'm also looking at something else to complement the car. And I think the AMG GT is a really good complement to the 911. I think it's different because it's turbo to the 997. I think the interior is more, Grand Touring, GT Grand Touring. I think the whole thing actually works really well in a garage. If you're going to have a air-cooled 911 or a early water-cooled 911 and you have the AMG GT, let's just say the GTS because it's a better price, the AMG GTS, I think it's a good pair to have in the garage. This doesn't mean I'm not still looking at GT3s and 964s, which I've spoken about in previous videos. But I'm still looking at all these things. I guess the fun of it is we always like to look. It's always good to look. It's always good to know what's out there, and it's always good to plan plan what you're going to buy next or what you're going to add to next. We all work very hard, and we work hard to get to a certain point in life, and sometimes we have to take the plunge and do something more. So the next car I've been looking at, and I know this will be a little bit predictable, and I know there's a bit of hype about it at the moment because it's still undervalued, but it's going to be one of the collectible Ferraris, and that's the 458 Italia. Now the 458 Italia is the two-door 458. I'm not sure of the years. 2011 is it? 2010 did it come out? 2010, 2011. There are some really good examples for really reasonable pricing in Australia. I'm talking about Australian prices, not UK prices or US prices, so just bear with me with the conversion. So you're talking about a 458 Italia, not highly optioned. I mean, there's some for around 350 Australian dollars. Ones with better options are closer to 390. Ones that are very old, ones that are very at the end of the range of the 458 before the 488 GTB came in, they're around 430,000. I think there's a couple for. They do have reasonable options. They have the carbon fiber, driver zone, carbon fiber in the center tunnel. Some of them have that, some of them just have the cheap plastic. As you know with Ferrari inside, Ferrari sometimes looks a little bit, there's parts of it that look really good, and then there's other parts of it that look quite cheap. The grey plastic they use, like Porsche as well, it looks a little bit cheap. But if it has the carbon, it's a good thing. There's aftermarket people that can do it, so that wouldn't hold you back from buying the Ferrari. Anyway, the 458 Ferrari, I guess, is a bit of a dream car. I really like it. I like it when people put the Speciale stripes on it. I think it looks really cool. I'm not sure of the cost of servicing. I'm guessing it is going to be expensive. I'm not even sure of the cost of insurance to insure something like that in Australia. I guess I see the 458 Italia as a investment car. It's a car that you would buy. It's a car that you would possibly not garage in your house. I'd possibly store it somewhere else. And I'd treat it like property. I'd treat it like an investment property. It's there, you get to enjoy it, you get to experience the Ferrari lifestyle, the Ferrari driving pleasure, you get to compare it to your Porsche, then you go and put it back into your storage, car storage, or wherever you use to store the car, which is an extra cost, but it's like an investment. You treat it as an investment and you sit on it and you enjoy it, and hopefully you'll get your money back when you go to sell it. If not, it will probably appreciate. I think the 458, last of the naturally aspirated V8, I think it will gain in value. There's a really great video actually. See, personally I prefer the 458 Italia because I prefer the styling. I prefer that it's got a cleaner back end where it doesn't have the ducts. I prefer the back of the 458. I actually prefer the interior as well. Even though the 488 is more modern, I still prefer the 458 interior. 458 sound, the sound sounds much better. You should watch, wherever side is going to pop up, you should watch this video from the Car Guys. Now, the Car Guys, if you know about it, it's a great channel. I think it's a reasonably new channel. They're in the UK. He has a great collection of cars. He does a comparison between the 458 and the 488 GTB. He owns both. He also owns a Ferrari TDF, which is absolutely beautiful, which is worth, I don't know, £900,000, I think. He said he paid for it. They're very expensive. Yeah, So the two cars I like at the moment, AMG GT, I like the GTS. Sure, I like the C and the R. The C and the R have the wider rear, much wider rear. They have the air ducts at the back of the rear. The GTR is more racing focused. It has the wing. I think the GT is a great car. It's more accessible because you can, like I said, get one for around 200,000. They're coming down in price, I think, even still. In Australia, $200,000, you can get one. Leave it a little bit longer, they'll probably even be cheaper. 458 Italia, if you don't buy it soon, you're going to miss the boat. It's going to go up in price. There's only about 6 for sale in Australia. They're limited. There's a lot more in the UK, I know, because I looked online yesterday. But that's the one you'd have to grab into. At the moment, that's unreachable for me because of the cost. AMG GT, possibly you could somehow try to organize that. But then again, I've got the problem where I'm not in Australia and I can't drive the cars. So the Ferrari in one way makes more sense because it's an investment. It's something you sit on. It's like a flat, you store it, that's it. The AMG GT is more like an everyday car which you would drive. I think the AMG GT is a really good companion to the GT3. I think if I could get a 997 GT3 or even a 991 GT3, the 991 GT3 and the 997 GT3, in fact both of them are, you know, the Ferrari or the Mercedes. I mean, that's a 2-car garage. That's probably my 2-car dream garage at the moment. Let me know in the comments what your dream garage is. 2 cars only though, 2 cars only. So I think I'd go with the 997 GT3, and I think I'd have to say the 458 Italia. But if I wanted an everyday kind of fast car, I'd go for the AMG GTS. GTR is obviously better, one of the two. GTR being similar to the GT3, but you know, the GT3 I think handles a lot better in the front end. I think the AMG GT is a little bit twitchy. Anyway, those of you who follow me on Instagram will know that I'm still Instagram. I'm still trying to decide what other mods I want to do for the 997. I know this probably gets a little bit boring because I always talk about it. I still want to do, I know people keep telling me, some people say no, it's awful, other people say yeah, it's great, you should do it. I still want to do the short shifter. I looked at the price here in the UK, it's cheap, I'll just buy it, take it back to Australia. I think it takes 3 hours to fit. I think I have to do it. Other mods, probably not a lot more for the 997. The leather interior pieces, oh, the only other thing is the console lid, which I've talked about before. I'm definitely going to get that. Apart from that, nothing else, the same things I always talk about. The only other mod is the Bluetooth, but that's probably last on my list. It's more the driving experience. I don't talk on the phone a lot in the car. It's not a big deal for me. I can still get by, you know what I mean? But that's probably that's the update on the 997. There's nothing much else happening there. Just hanging to get back to drive it, going back Christmas or just a little bit after Christmas. So that will be good. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, the kid in us always thinks about what else we can have, what other toys we can play with. We always want more than one toy. We always want more than one car to play with. I think we're all the same in that manner. It's just choosing which cars you want and which cars fit your lifestyle and which cars you can garage and which cars you can not lose money on. I mean, the main point is not to lose money. The 997, like I said before, not going to lose money on that. It's choosing the next car. I think the AMG GT you would lose money on. GTR possibly not. Ferrari 458 Italia, you wouldn't lose money on that. I think that's about it for today. I hope this has been semi-enjoyable. Thanks for all the support, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.